Hello and welcome. I'm working on a small master bathroom, and today I'm going to show you my work that I've been doing on the floor, which is to remove the old linoleum. This is not a difficult job, it's particularly since it's a small floor. The linoleum comes up pretty easy. In fact, on this particular floor, it was already curling up, particularly on the section up against the shower stall here. What you notice is very little glue was used, in fact, in this area, and it was all curled up. There are other areas where quite a bit of glue was used, so kind of not very uniform use of the glue. But the linoleum is not that strong. This is about 36 years old. So what I did was I used a utility knife, I scored it, and then I just basically ripped it up. It came up quite easily. Now, I don't have to worry about nicking this underlayment because this is not going to be the finished floor surface. I'm going to be putting in tile on this. So if my utility knife was to cut this, not a big deal. Okay, it's not going to show. Okay, now after that, the second step under the linoleum is this paper, and it separates from this paper backing pretty easily. They just almost come right apart pretty easily, but the paper won't come off of the floor easily in the sections where it's glued. There'll be large areas where it's not glued, and then if you just get something under it, it just rips right up. Now there'll be other areas where it won't rip right up. It's glued on. Okay, now what I've been using in those areas is the heat gun. You pretty much, it won't come up without the heat gun. You wouldn't want to have to try to sand that off, for example. That would create an absolute mess. With the heat gun, I've been using this Milwaukee heat gun. I've had for a long time. I'm not going to actually demonstrate it here, but you just put the heat in front of it, and it will melt the glue, and then it will separate. And you will be left with some residuals of glue in some areas. Here's an area where, the glue is notched. It seems to separate from these areas pretty easily, actually. The areas where it seems to stick in it is areas where the glue seems to have been built up into a larger amount. Okay, but if you just stay with it very slowly, I've been using this putty knife because it's small, and I just do it in small sections, and it comes up more easily. And it's relatively stiff blade. If the blade is too flexible, it's not going to work so good. And I've been using my mask, my N95 mask. But the other thing I do is I put hot water onto this paper backing. I don't really think it affects the glue, but what I think it does is it prevents that paper from burning in sections where it's not wet. And you got the heat gun on it, it burns, and that creates, of course, a burning smell in the room, and also the room can get even cloudy. And so anyway, I think when you get it wet, and then you hit it with the heat gun, it's a little bit like a steamer. A steamer is one thing that they say is a way of getting this stuff up. But I don't have a steamer. This would be like a wallpaper steamer. But I think if you saturate this, and then you hit the heat gun on it, you're going to get a very similar effect. The paper itself will start breaking down. But I think what it really is that then when you hit it with the heat gun, if the heat is enough, the glue softens and it separates. It separates from that. Okay, so, and then I have a window. I have one window in this room, so I just open the window while I'm running. This is the winter, so I don't keep it open all the time, but only when I'm running the heat gun. I just keep the window open just to help keep the smell from getting through the rest of the house. I did have a problem with the toilet. You can see here, not unusual problem. The old ring had rusted. This toilet was not leaking, and there was no real water damage around here. If there was, yeah, you would have seen it on, this is on the second floor, so you would have seen that on the ceiling. on the first floor, if there had been, you know, any leakage of water here, plus it would have obviously created a bad odor, which it didn't. This, even though it did rust, this support for the toilet and the wax seal and everything seems to have been intact. But after 36 years, it needs replacement now. So I'll have to get a repair flange to put under there. Another thing about this was I took up the baseboards in order to do this job because I'm going to be putting the tile down and then trying to put the baseboards on top of it. Okay, because I like that. For some reason, when they build a house, they put all the baseboards down before doing the floors. So in this case, you can see the linoleum was actually just placed up to the baseboard, not under it. And they tried applying glue around the edges. But one of the things that happens as a result of that is the baseboard is not holding down the linoleum, so it'll start curling up in areas, for example, where they didn't put the glue down, or where, if the glue would have failed in a certain area, it'll start curling. So this house did have one tiled bathroom floor, and then it had two half baths. Well, this is one of them, or I don't know if this is called a half bath, but shower stall. This one had the linoleum, and then downstairs half bath had a linoleum. So I want to replace those with the tile because the tile, it seems it's going to last longer. I'm still going to keep my tile floor, the floor that does have the tile, and it's nicer too, I think. Okay, so it's just an upgrade, and that's kind of where I'm at. I just have a little small section to finish here, and then when it comes to the third step, it would be removing all of this glue itself. Not, I don't think I might not actually need to remove any of the glue, but I probably will hit up some of the high spots. I probably will take another pass with the heat gun, where I just go after the spots where just the glue remains. I'm not sure if I need to do that, but I might do that just to make sure I don't have a spot where it's a little bit too high and I overlook it. And then when I won't go down to put the tile, that I end up with like a little bump. I'll certainly go over and make sure all the nails are flush, have been driven down, stuff like that. So I think that's pretty much everything here. Okay, thanks, bye.